Good day, fellow hunters. This is Jared the Lantern with another video for you. I'm going to do a different type of video. This isn't a review or a tour of any kind. Being that we were probably all in the process currently of putting our props away, sadly, I just want to take a bit of time just to give you some tips of how to make your props last as long as they possibly can. Now, I think a lot of people they have complaints about props, especially animatronics, and this video will be talking specifically about animatronics, is that they don't last that long. You're lucky to get 2 or even 3 years use out of them. Sometimes they stop working after 1 year. Now, there's a lot of things that are out of our hands that, just by malfunctioning from how it came from the manufacturer that we just can't keep in check. But there definitely are measures that we can take to make sure that we have animatronics that live a very long life, so to speak. So let's just get to some of these tips right now. The first tip that I would offer is that when you are assembling and especially disassembling props is you want to make sure that you are as careful as you can with taking such things as like the cords and the cables off. Usually they're connected from the module inside to the head or from other parts of the body to the center module. So make sure that if there is one, and this is actually the Evil Scientist, and this one has a one of those clasps that you make sure that you have to press down prior to pulling apart. Make sure you do so gently. Make sure that you are, pulling it out so that you're not yanking any other cables out that shouldn't be yanked out, and that you're not putting any stress on the cables that are connected to the head or to the rest of the body. Same thing kind of goes with other props. Not so much this one, but ones that can be found on props such as John Doe. And let me go grab him real quick. Now, John Doe has more of the plastic tab telescoping type of connection, and a lot of people tend to just either pull it out or yank it out or just twist and try to pull, and just make sure that you have some sort of small tool that you can press into that hole to take out the other pole. Because if that tab breaks, not only will that cause damage to the pole itself, but it could also stop the prop from working itself. So basically, in a nutshell, is just when assembling and disassembling, just use proper caution. The second tip that I could offer is this part right here, the battery pack. This is the Talking Skeleton cameos. Some props you have the option of using an AC adapter. Other props you have to use batteries. Either way, please make sure that you remove the batteries before storing away for the year. It's, for one thing, it's just not good to have electronics sitting around with batteries in their compartment, because things like battery leakage or battery corrosion could occur, especially during the warm summer months. And it's just really good to make sure that you remove the batteries so that doesn't damage the prop. Battery corrosion could happen, and then that could affect the entire prop from working correctly. The third tip that I have is just don't have your props set up for too long amount of time. You can have proper placement in your haunt wherever they should be, but I would suggest just leaving it in the box until you are really close to preparing to completely set up for your haunt. There is such a thing as these props having undue stress put onto them. And if you have them set up for, a month prior to Halloween, and then if you don't take it down for another month, that could also cause some damage to the prop. So just make sure that you are setting it up for just a limited amount of time so there's no problem with any stress being on the especially sensitive areas like the neck and the module and other parts of the structure of the prop. And that's basically why I would never recommend anybody buy Spirit Halloween's Spirit Halloween's store displays, because they've been up for 2 months, more than 2 months. So it's best to keep it not set up for too long amount of time, just to lengthen the prop's life. And the final tip that I'm going to give to make sure that you have your animatronics last as long as they possibly can is proper storage. I think this is probably the biggest, most important one, because a lot of people, the boxes that these props come in usually are large, and it's hard to find a place to store them. So usually we have to resort to storing them in a garage or the attic, or even like a mini storage facility. And all those places, unfortunately, get really, really cold or really, really hot. And either one of those things, extreme cold or extreme hot weather, are going to affect how well a animatronic will function the following year. So, for instance, where I live, it can get up to about 110 degrees during the summertime. So I'm definitely not going to leave these anywhere where that weather is going to affect the mechanics of a prop, the electronic parts, or even like the latex parts of props too. A lot of things can get damaged with excessive cold or excessive heat. So if you can, try to store these inside somewhere. I know that's kind of a daunting task to find a place to store all these large boxes and stuff. But if you can clear out a closet in your house, that would be a perfect place to do it. You can play a little bit of Tetris of trying to get all the boxes to fit in there properly. But I really highly recommend not storing them in a very high heat or a very cold climate area, like the ones I said before: garage, mini storage, attic. Attic would probably be the absolute worst, because heat rises, and there's going to be a whole lot of heat, especially during the summer months, no matter where you live. So hopefully these little, which are probably just common sense things you guys already know, but I know we always have a lot of new haunters coming to the haunting community, and we always hear people complain about props not lasting long enough, but they can last longer than you think, with proper care. Just, it's always good to make sure that we're treating them right, because we do spend a lot of money on them, and we obviously don't want to throw them out the following year. So just keep your props healthy, keep your animatronics working, and so hopefully these tips help. So anyway, if you like what you were watching, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, happy haunting.